Every year, fewer people across the country read a physical paper copy of the newspaper.
At one newspaper in Susquehanna County, you can not only find this week's edition, you can look at almost every one ever printed. Jon Meyer got a look in his stop on the Pennsylvania Road.
Here's 135 years of actual copies of the Forest City News.
It just looks like any other storage cabinet you or I may have in the basement, but this is filled with history.
This one happens to be 1900 to 1902.
Every edition of the Forest City News bound together by year. John Kameen is the paper's president.
There were also years in which there wasn't a lot of advertising or there wasn't a lot of news, and yet there's other years when there was a lot more news.
One part of the basement has the early years.
1957 to 2020.
Okay.
Ran out of room, so I had to start piling them up here.
What looks like a workbench stores the rest. No extra protections to preserve them, but a collection that is held up for 133 years. Just think of all the community and family stories sitting on these shelves.
This is the history of Forest City, all in this cabinet.
And there's no place else.
We look through papers from that first year. The front page then wasn't news, more of a fictional story. When we did get to the local section, we found a lot of information in really small print.
There were no headlines, no nothing, so that it is really difficult to research anything in back issues because you can't look for a headline.
But what was here was of interest to this community, like a dispute over a missing pig butchered by a hotel, and other updates we'd probably find on Facebook today.
Mrs. H.W. Brown has just returned from Starocco, where she's been visiting her parents.
Right. You know, struck us up over the hill.
Yeah.
That was a big thing.
And that was in the paper.
Hey, that was a big thing then. And you have to move it around.
Yes, all this history is also preserved on microfilm. They're also digitizing all of it. But it's powerful looking at physical copies of a newspaper from so long ago, realizing the importance of local news in this community.
It's the only local record of what's happening now, and it certainly is the only local record of history.
John's daughter Patricia is publisher now, carrying on the Kameen family ownership dating back to the 1950s, the curators of this unique community collection. Jon Meyer, Newswatch 16 on the Pennsylvania Road in Susquehanna County.